नाम न जाने धाम न जाने, जाने न सेवा पूजा, जाने बस इतना जान हम, एक बिना नहीं दूजा, नहीं दूजा, तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे, तुम धरती आकाश हमारे, तुम धरती आकाश हमारे, रामा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे, तुम धरती आकाश हमारे। तात मात तुम बंधु भ्रात हो, दिवस रात्रि संध्या प्रभात हो, तात मात तुम बंधु भ्रात हो, दिवस रात्रि संध्या प्रभात हो, दीपक सूर्य चंद्र तारक में, रामा तुम ही ज्योति प्रकाश हमारे, रामा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे, तुम धरती आकाश हमारे, तुम धरती आकाश हमारे, रामा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे, तुम धरती आकाश हमारे, तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे, तुम धरती आकाश हमारे। रामा हमारे दाता हमारे, तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे, तुम धरती आकाश हमारे।
Welcome to Satsang. Another gloriously windy night here on the banks of Mother Ganga. I pray that in your rooms, in your homes, there is health, there is peace, there is joy. The days of this pandemic will end, whether a few weeks from now, a few months from now, whatever it is, it's going to end. And we're going to look back on these days and ask ourselves, what did I do during that pause when the universe gave me that time and that space? Did I use it to become more and more bitter, more and more frustrated, more and more negative, picking fights with my family members, with myself? Or, as my guru Puja Swamiji always asks us, we becoming better or bitter? So at this time, as we're locked down, as we're facing a pandemic over which most of us don't have any control. We have control only over our own personal bodies, own personal health. But this pandemic is wreaking havoc around the globe. But we have the choice. We've got great power over what we do in this time, in this space. It could certainly be something in which we become bitter, frustrated, annoyed, negative, fighting. Or it can be a time in which we really go within and we expand into deep truth. It's so easy, especially as our physical world contracts. It's so easy to let our minds contract as well. Our mind contracts into the world that we see on our news feed on Facebook or Google News or whatever we're viewing. Our world contracts into the world of the 1 or 2 or 3 people, 5 people in our house with us, or our social circle. It's so easy to allow our inner world to contract as the outer world contracts, and to simply become contracted, frustrated, negative, to lose our vision. But actually, even though our physical world has contracted, the call is for our inner world to expand. And it's an extraordinarily beautiful challenge how, in an ever smallening physical world, of staying within, of social distancing, not meeting, not going out, how as our physical world gets smaller and smaller, how can our heart expand more and more? How can we not fall into the trap of our minds and our hearts contracting into the drama of the little physical world that we find ourselves in? Whether it's how the silverware is arranged in the drawer, who's cooking dinner, who's cleaning up, whose sweater's on the floor, who's saying what, doing what. Yeah, it's a tense situation living in 4 little walls with people you're used to spending only a few hours a week with maybe. Now it's 24/7. But the challenge is extraordinary. And the opportunity likely will never come again to really have a situation where the world has created a cave for you. And now the choice that each of us has is, am I going to spend this time in my cave looking at the walls and losing myself in the drama of the ants that are crawling along the walls? Oh, that one got a bigger piece of rice than that one. Oh, that one's beating up this one. Oh, that ant is doing this, doing that. Or do I use the time in the cave to expand my mind and expand my heart and to really dive into the precious gift that this time has offered us? Because whatever your personal predisposition is, stress is just going to exacerbate it. If you have a tendency toward addiction, alcohol, drugs, chances are in this time, it's difficult. You're fighting urges not to use. If you have a tendency toward violence, chances are you're fighting the urge to be violent with those around you or violent with yourself. If you have a tendency toward judgment and negativity, contracted way of thinking, gossip, well, nothing like a condensed world to give you lots of things to judge, to condemn, to gossip about. Lots of time. But the point of the lockdown, the point of this global pause, or rather a global reset, a global reboot, is not just about to let the virus that's already in us get worse. In a computer, if you've got a virus, the whole point is to clean the virus, to clean the system, not to reboot in such a way that the virus is worse. So as we've got this opportunity, ask yourself, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, when history, your children, your grandchildren say to you, what was it like? What did you do? How did you feel? Ask yourself how you're going to respond. And use this time to really expand the mind, expand the heart. Get a real internal rebooting going on, one that clears the virus within, not strengthens it. So in this beautiful time of our sacred evening satsang, we'll start with a question in advance and then open it to you, our global family. Why do we not speak up when we should have? Those of us who are committed to living a life of truth, a life of Dharma, we introspect, we contemplate, we look at ourselves. And sometimes when we do that, there'll be a moment where you look back and you realize, I really should have said something. Something wrong was happening in that moment. Maybe it was something that seems innocuous. Maybe people were just being judgmental and gossipy and negative and criticizing. Maybe it was something worse. Maybe you witnessed actually some form of real abuse. And for whatever reason in that moment, you stayed quiet. And now, in this moment of introspection, of contemplation, you wonder, how did that happen? I'm someone committed to love, to truth, to nonviolence, to integrity, to Dharma. How did I not speak up? And this is where our own inner lack of security plays in. We don't speak up because in that moment there's a voice in our head that says, what if people laugh at me? What if they criticize me? 2 minutes ago, I wasn't the subject of the abuse. I wasn't the subject of the criticism. It was someone else. But if I speak up, maybe I will become the one being criticized. Maybe I will become the one being judged. Maybe they will think badly about me. And because so many of our sense of self is rooted in what other people are saying about us, or what we think they're saying, what other people think about us, we have to make sure that they like us. And the tragedy of that is we find ourselves caring very deeply about what people who we don't even necessarily like or respect, what they think of us. And that's even more crazy. It's like that famous saying, I think it was Groucho Marx, who said, I don't want to be part of any club that wants me to be a member. Meaning, I feel so badly about myself that if you actually want me to be a part of your club, it means you must not be a very prestigious club. And he was a comedian, of course, but a lot of us have that same sense of, if I say something, if I do something, maybe they're going to realize that I'm not worthy of their friendship. I'm not worthy of being in the inner circle. And so we don't. And it's tragic. It's also dangerous. Because some of it is just negative, stupid, gossip, nonsense, judgment, just the utter waste of time and spreading of bad energies. But on a deeper level, it's also the same stuff that genocide is created out of. People not speaking up about something that's wrong is what enables wrong to continue. And so every one of us needs to be really sure that we not only know our truth, that we not only speak the truth, but that we also refuse to partake of situations in which things we don't believe in are happening. And so, for example, I'm a very strict vegetarian. If you tried to feed me meat, I wouldn't take it. Because I know I'm a vegetarian. And maybe I would worry that you would be upset or hurt, but I wouldn't worry that much. Certainly not enough that it would be enough to make me eat non-veg. And in the same way, the stuff we take in through our ears, what we listen to people say, the energy we take in through the energy around us, that's no less impactful upon us than the food we eat. And it's no less destructive for the world than non-veggies. And so in the same way that we are very clear about the food we take in, we're very clear about what we drink, we're clear about what music we listen to even. Oh, turn that nonsense off. So many people tell their kids, or kids tell their parents. In the same way, on an even deeper and more important level, when you're somewhere where you know you need to speak up, do it. Don't worry what the other people are going to think. If somebody is going to judge you negatively for bringing truth into a situation of falsehood, for bringing dharma into a situation of non-dharma, adharma, for bringing light into a situation of darkness, for bringing depth into a situation of shallowness, then they're not people whose opinion should matter. Our lives are very precious. We have 24 hours in a day. We have to sleep. We have to bathe. We have to eat. We've got so many things we have to do. The amount of time left over is very short and very precious. Make sure that every one of those moments is spent in alignment with what you know to be true, what you know to be light, what you know to be deep. Those are the building blocks, the bricks of the temple of you. Now, that doesn't mean that by speaking up, by the way, that other people are going to change. Doesn't mean people are going to say, oh, thank you so much for putting us on the right track. We're going to stop gossiping right now. Or, oh, thank you so much for putting me on the right track. I'm going to stop beating this kid right now. Very rarely do people actually say, oh, thank you so much for putting me in my place. Usually, they do turn on us. Usually, they do criticize us. But you know what? The purpose of our life, our dharma, is not about how we can get through life without this one criticizing me, without this one thinking that I'm making a decision different than what they would make. At the end of the day, it's not about how many people liked you because you upheld and rationalized and condoned their way of living in darkness, in violence, in negativity and separation. At the end of the day, what matters is how much light did you bring? How much truth did you bring? So have the courage. Speak up. But make sure, lastly, that when you speak from truth and you speak from light. It doesn't mean that you turn around and start criticizing others. It doesn't mean that you turn around high and mighty and holy, better than thou. But just speak from your truth. Speak from your heart. Speak love. Speak oneness. Speak dharma. Speak righteousness. Where it lands, it's not up to you. This is where Lord Krishna said, do not be attached to the fruits of your labor. Speak the truth. Speak dharma, live truth. What other people do with that, that's their karma.
Are there any genuine self-realized souls or avatars on earth now who could guide us like Jesus or Krishna?
Absolutely there are. There are so many of them. The problem is that very few of us really want the truth. What most people want is a leader, a guru, a guide who will say just what you're doing exactly as you're doing. It's perfect. And these days there's a plethora to choose from. Whatever way you live, you will find someone who will tell you that that's absolutely perfect. Very few people really want to hear, that's your ego, that's your fear, that's your ignorance. And so what we do is we sort of guru shop until we find one who basically pats us and says, oh yeah, what you're doing, no problem, it's okay. Anyway, it's all perfect. Oh, you're beating your kids, you're cheating on your wife. No, but it's okay. It's okay, you're perfect. No problem. Just have a bath in Ganga and you'll be fine. Get out, keep doing the same thing over and over again. No problem. And I'm sure you can find someone like that. And tragically, very few people really want to do the work to go within. That work of being quiet, of really looking within at who am I and what am I here for? What's the love in my heart? What's my anchoring, my grounding? And so we're so easily pulled in this direction, pulled in that direction, pulled by our senses, pulled by our ego, pulled by the thing of the moment, pulled by this desire, by that desire. And because the media these days has really brought the world to our fingertips, whatever you envision, someone is out there ready to give it to you. Some for money, some for free. You just have to follow them and, like them and watch them and listen to them, whatever. And so the dilemma these days is, in order to really listen to what the realized beings are saying, it requires a level of surrender and a level of humility and a level of preparedness to really do sadhana that very few people have. We're living in a world today where everything's immediate. There's almost nothing you've got to wait for. You want money? Walk up to a wall, stick a card in, push some buttons, and money comes out. You want food? Drive your car up to a window, shout into it. 5 feet later, drive up to another window and your food comes out. Want to own something? Punch a few buttons on your computer. Within 24 hours, it arrives at your doorstep. Faster in some places. And so we've created a world where everything is immediate. Instant enlightenment. I'm sure if you Google it, there'll be dozens of people promising it. No meditation required, no sadhana required, instant awakening. And so with a culture that has been primed for everything immediate, the minute we are bored, we just change the channel. We go through our social media feeds like this, the news, whatever it is. Nobody even looks at things anymore. I remember when we first started making videos, they were, 20 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes. And then suddenly people started saying, the videos shouldn't be longer than 10 minutes. Nobody watches more than 10 minutes. And then a few years